Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to HillmanTok University. My name is Dr. Dale Laing-Hall, and today is Juneteenth. Today is Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth to you, wherever you're joining from. So we are live on TikTok and we are live on Zoom. So we have those that are in the private Zoom session and those that are here live on TikTok. So for those that do not know, welcome to HillmanTok University, your emotional intelligence 101 for business professionals who are ready to unlock their leadership potential with emotional intelligence. So, for those that don't know, HillmanTok University is a movement by the Black community, for the Black community, open to other communities, and we're here to make to making education affordable, available to all for free. For free. Okay, so why not? If you're interested in joining and signing up for this class, please go ahead and register at thehillmantalk.com. Again, if you're interested in joining this class is for HillmanTok Universities. It's live here on TikTok, but if you want to see the recordings, if you want to get access to all of the tools and the assessments and the other resources that are going to be made available for those that register, you're going to have to join at the HillmanTok. Go to thehillmantalk.com. So, okay, so this is for HillmanTok University students, and that's why we are here. Okay, so again, we are live on TikTok, and then we're live here on Zoom with those that have registered. So thank you guys for registering and for being here. I want to know, as we get started, we need to check in. So in all of my trainings and conversation, the first thing I ask everybody that joined is, how are you feeling in this moment? How are you feeling in this moment? Put it in the chat or put it down below. Let me know how you're feeling. And for those that, they can be a myriad of emotions out there, but to help you kind of narrow things down, let me give you a list, right? So if you're feeling joy right now, joy, let's give it a number one. Just put one in the chat. If you're feeling joy, if you're feeling joy, put number one in the chat. If you're feeling happy, put number two. If you're feeling sadness, put number three. If you are neutral, go with number four, right? If you are surprised about something, let's go with number five. I'm not going to say number six if you're angry. Okay? So let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me know down below. Put it down below. I want to know how you guys are feeling. Number one for joy, number two for happy, number three for sadness, number four for neutral, number five for angry. If you're angry, I hope you're not angry, or by the end of this, you won't be angry. All right. And number seven, if you're surprised about something is going on right now in this moment, not how you're doing today, how are you feeling in this moment right now? It's important that you, which is what this class is going to be all about. It's important that you know and understand that whatever it is that you're feeling in this moment, it's quite okay. It's quite okay, but you need to be able to identify it. Thank you for joining, Shante. Thank you for, I'm sure I'm saying your name right. So again, we're here live on TikTok, and then we're also live on those that register for the class already on Zoom. So if you have any one of those emotions, it's very important that you figure out what you are feeling, what you're going through, what's going on with you. Because if you can't label it, there's no way you can get over it. Okay? Again, I'm gonna say, if you can't label it, there's no way, shape in heaven or above or beneath that you can get over it. It's very important that you kind of label what it is that you're feeling. So if you have joy, number one, if you're feeling happy, number two, number three, sadness, and number four, if you're neutral, uh, yes, hi. Okay, good. I said it right. Shantae, let me know how you're feeling. For those that are here, let me know how you're feeling. Give me your emotion. If you're feeling happy, joy, sadness, anger, surprised, whatever it is that looks like for you, let me know so that way we can get this conversation going and everybody can be a part and join. I want to make sure that you guys are with me, those that are here. If you guys can hear me, right? Those that are on live on TikTok, just want to make sure, because you guys know these computer thingies be acting up. Yes, Shantae, let me know how are you feeling? I need to know how you guys are feeling. Let me know how you guys are feeling. If you're happy, sad, angry, fearful, feeling disgust or surprised about something, it's important that we label that and that we get a really good grip of what that looks like. Okay? It's very important. Okay, so as you guys, oh, I gotta make sure I have the comments section. Let me make sure I have the comment section. Allow the comment section so I can see you guys' comments. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. Okay. Hi. Very good. Just saying hi. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna put you back down below. Yes, hi. Yes. So I want I if if I don't mind having this because I'm here with the HillmanTok University with this is our first class today, and I don't mind if you want to stay on and we can kind of talk through with those that are here on the Zoom and those that are here live with us. That's quite fine. So again, this conversation for it's unlocking your leadership potential with emotional intelligence. Right? And for those that don't know, let's kind of talk about what emotional intelligence is, right? Because it sounds a little like it's very emotional or it's all over the place. No, it's not. It couldn't be anything further from the truth. Couldn't be anything further from the truth. So the first thing I want to I'm a quotes person. I love quotes. I love words that come together. And there's a quote by Carl Jung, um, and he says, "Until you can make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So I don't, I'm gonna repeat that again because I'm getting some comments here. So until you can make the unconscious, which is that subconscious, unless you can make that unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So that is to say, the emotional intelligence is the tool that helps you do just that. Lead from a place of self awareness, lead from a place of emotional clarity, and lead from a place of emotional depth. Right? So, if you want the textbook definition of emotional intelligence, it is the ability to be able to understand, to manage your emotions in a healthy way that helps you to connect with others, EQ, emotional intelligence, is also EQ. So EQ for short, EI for, emotional intelligence. EQ is emotional quotient, for those that don't know. That is the that's how it used to be called earlier in the day, like years and years and years and years ago, right? Over 20, 40 years ago. Now, even more so, it has been called either EI or EQ, so they shorten it, and or emotional intelligence, whichever one you prefer. It's all the same, right? So EQ describes a broad range of skills, from capabilities, from your ability to calm yourself down when you're upset about something, ability to read your facial expression or read what other people are trying to put down, and you having that opportunity to be able to make sure that you are present when that is happening. So let's the agenda that we're going to cover today. I just want to give you guys a quick overview. This week we're going to be addressing, pretty much giving the foundation for emotional intelligence, right? And next week, we're going to be talking about self awareness, which is the first component of emotional intelligence. And I kind of named that one See Yourself so you can lead yourself, right? And number three, the week three, we're going to be talking about self management, which is about mastering that inner critic. What are you telling yourself up here? You think that has nothing to do with emotions? Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. And then number four, week four, we're talking about social awareness and empathy, right? People think that empathy is weak or being compassionate is weak. It ain't. It's actually the strongest thing out, right? It's the strongest thing out, because if you lead with your heart, you are leading from a passionate place. But you got to be able to do it logically. You can't be like so involved in the emotions, or so involved in what the situation is going on, that you completely miss what the person is trying to tell you, right? Week five, we're going to talk about relationship management. Yes, how do you manage those personal and professional relationships, right? Sometimes we think we know it all as it relates to the people that are in our lives, but in reality, we don't. Sometimes we just don't, right? So, and then week six, we're going to talk about integration and impact. So, merging that emotional intelligence, and we're going to you're going to come away with a really nice EQ blueprint, right? For you, your path, and how you can continue to develop yourself after these 6 weeks. So again, this entire course is free. Provided under the HillmanTok University. And if you're interested in signing up for the course, of course, you have to go to HillmanTok University website, dhillmantalk.com, and you'll be able to register for this course. I think up to tomorrow you have, because again, the course starts this week. Otherwise, you'll be missing the rest of the week, right? So, okay, so let's just go quickly over what we're going to do today. What are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about emotional intelligence. So when we say emotional intelligence, we're calling it, are you able to calm yourself before responding instead of having that knee-jerk reaction, right? This is the core, right? So when I talk about EQ, I like to bring it to life, like how you are acting in your day to day, so it can be real, right? And it's not something that it's like in theory, somewhere. I'm giving it to you like in practice, how you interact with the people in your life, and how you can bring EQ, more intelligently, emotional maturity, into your day to day, right? So, are you able to calm yourself down before responding to something that is maybe triggering you, maybe rubbing you the wrong way, right? Are you able to understand the vibe of the room without even anybody saying anything? I'm sure you guys, I've been in the spaces where you walk into a room and you can say, oh my God, what is going on in here? You can tell the vibe. You can tell that you can tell how things how things are developing. You can feel it. You're like, either they were talking about me, or something went down in here before I came in here, or something is going on, right? Um, if you guys are resonating with what I'm saying, let me know. What do you think? Have you encountered something like that? What I'm saying? Is it making sense?
Yeah, I mean, emotional stuff. I'm aware of that. Emotional intelligence. But what he's saying is totally on point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you guys that are here on the Zoom, feel free if you guys wanna, if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat, or you guys can send it to me before, or you guys can on mic and share, because I'm gonna just go through, because again, we're here for a short time and not a long time, but very much make sure that you guys get the value. And this is going to be a short day because it's just intro to the entire conversation. Again, this is the foundation, right? So, are you able to lead with clarity instead of chaos? What does that mean? That means, are you able to sit down, make a decision about something or whatever it is that you need to make a decision? If you're leading a bunch of people at work, are you able to sit down and make a decision without, I'm not going to talk to him today because he dissed me yesterday and he ignored me, and that email that he sent me was out of pocket, so I'm just going to ignore him. Are you able to set, are you able to go and address that professionally without being all in your emotions, or are you going to let that affect how you move in your day to day? A lot of people can't do that, right? And which is why I lean so hard into EQ and I lean so hard into emotional intelligence, because it allows you to see yourself and love yourself through it all, right? See yourself and love yourself through it all. So, with that being said, the next thing is, are you able to speak truth with grace? Some people think that speak truth with grace. Some people think, oh, I gotta let him know how I feel. Yeah, you can do that, but can you do that with love? Can you do that, in peace? Can you do that, with tact? Right? Nobody likes to be told what to do. The majority of people, I don't care who you are, you don't, nobody likes to be told what to do. And so it's important that how you say what you say makes a difference, right? So how you say what you say. For example, I had this client that I went in and I did some work with some of the middle managers. So the CEO brought me in to, because the middle managers, they were having employees leave them, one in, one out, one in, one out. There were, one was coming in, five was leaving. It was not good, you guys. It was not good. And I'm sure all of us can, kind of think about that job that you've had where it was a toxic environment, right? In one way, shape, or form. And they brought me in to do some training with these managers that didn't have people skills. They were promoted into their position because they did a really good job in their technical job, the day-to-day stuff. But when it came to managing people, it was not there. It was not there. They didn't know how to talk to people. They were talking down to them. They were either disrespectful, or they were yelling, and they were slamming doors, and they were cursing, and they were, someone were even brushed up against one so hard. I was like, what is, whoa. Whoa, right? But that's, and I want you guys to think about, this is a homework for you, right? Think about that. What if you are a leader right now, whether you're a leader, the first of all, you're a leader of yourself. So make sure that you know that you need to be able to lead yourself first, right? Before you even lead others. And I know we have people out here leading people that don't know who they are themselves, right? They don't know who they are. So my question, I want you guys to know, this very thing, right? Make sure that when you decide to sit down and have a conversation with someone, have that conversation with yourself first. Like, have that conversation with yourself first, because one of the very first questions that when I sat down with these managers to train them and talk to them, I don't sit down, I don't tell people what to do. I don't believe in that. What I do is I ask a lot of questions, and I help them to, they come up with the answers themselves. I said, I switched the situation around, and I said, what would you do if you were this employee and they were your manager? How would you like to receive this information? And then they give me their answer. I said, so is that what you did? No, I didn't do that. I said, "Oh, okay, so we getting somewhere. We getting somewhere, right?" So I let them see it for themselves, but they have to put themselves there. I go through this whole process with them, and I bring them. You know, they said you got to bring the, you can't make the horse drink water. You got to lead them there. So I kindly, with questioning, lead them to this water to let them see, hey, you see if the roles were reversed, you would have liked a little bit more kindness in that situation, right? It's like, and every single person say, well, yeah. I said, okay then. So this is where the gap is. So before we even get there, my first question to them is, who in your past are you imitating today? Who in your past are you like, what leader, right? What leader, who in your past from your, they say that I always like to talk about this quote. This quote tells you everything about, and I say this all the time, every time I talk to do a training, and I love to always reference this quote by Mahatma Gandhi, and it says, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words, right? So you think about something, whatever you think about, you start to say it, right? You start speaking those words. Whether death, the good old book says, death or life is in the power of the tongue, right? Um, if keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior become habits. And keep your habits positive because they become your values. And eventually your destiny. So here's a situation, right? Let me give you a real example that you can kind of, let's go with me on this. Let me bring this home per se. If you are if you are an employee, like for example, let me see what example I can give you guys. Let me give you guys a personal example. I When I was growing up, in my household, I'm from the islands and I was born and raised in Honduras, so I have Honduras and Jamaican in me, right? So there's a lot of passion there. So and loud, and just that drive. So growing up in my household, we were very they everybody did a lot of screaming. We screamed a lot, right? And we were loud, and every single time, the kids in our family were not, and maybe in your family as well, we were, you could be seen and not, don't say anything, don't be seen and not heard, and all of those things, right? So me, you know, fast forward that to, I am the seventh of the seven kids. So I'm the last one, right? So think about, everybody see me, when all my siblings see me, they see the little Dale, right? The little sister. She's the last sister. And you think about it in your situation, right? And so anything I said, sit down in the corner. You don't know what you're talking about, right? They put you there like, shut up, just hush your mouth. So I grew up with that in my mind and how I was being treated in that way. So what happened with me is that as I came through adulthood, when I came here to the United States at age 13, 14, what do you think happened in the high schools? I had nothing to say. Every you know I teachers, I was a really good student, right? In Honduras I was like number one for a whole lot of things, but here I didn't speak up. Nobody knew what I really thought. And even in my family, we went on a trip and everybody was like laughing and saying what they thought about whatever was going on, and nobody knew what I had in my mind, because I was too scared to show what was really going on inside of me. I didn't think anybody would want to hear it. I didn't think anybody wouldn't accept it, and I didn't feel like I had a seat at the table, right? So that's sad, right? And you can probably think about yourself or somebody else that in that situation. So what do you think happened when I went to the workplace? when I went to the workplace, the last thing I did was speak up. I was too scared. I it was a new culture. I didn't know. And if the manager did it to me, I thought it was he was doing it because he could do it. So the manager came in and he yelled, he could yell. The manager came in and disrespected me, and I felt bad. And boy, I would get my hands would start. You know, when you get mad and somebody's pissing you off, and your hands. For me, my hands start sweating, or I get really annoyed or tense. You have to figure out what that is for you, right? When somebody, or you probably know that, right? When somebody is like really getting at you and you're really getting mad, your body start doing some things. And then me, I start, I get loud because again, I was raised in a loud environment. And some people say that's the way. I used to tell my husband when I got married when I got married initially, and he's like, "Why are you screaming? You're always screaming." He's like, "Why? I'm talking to you right here. Why are you screaming?" I said, I used to always say in my ignorance, right? I said, that's I'm from Honduras. That's how we talk, right? That's how we talk. That's how we let, that's how we let ourselves let everybody know what we're really feeling. But then after doing some therapy and some work, I figured out where it came from and whether I had a decision to make. Did I want to continue, you know, yelling and screaming and getting aggravated at every single thing that everybody else did around me, or did I want to change that? And that's what this class is. I hope this class does for you. Do you want to continue doing what you're doing? If it's working, Dr. Dale always says, leave it. Let it let it keep doing what you're doing. But if it's not working, I'm not saying to change it. I'm saying maybe it's a different perspective, right? So in these weeks, this is a safe space for you to ask yourself those questions, write them down, think about it, reflect. You need to reflect on what it is that you're feeling and what's coming up for you, right? Because for everybody, it's different. And no judgment. There should not be any judgment, and you shouldn't allow anybody to judge you, right? I want to make sure that you know that, right? So that's what I had to do. I had to do work on myself. And because of all of that screaming and stuff that I grew up, I witnessed growing up family members that were getting in fights, and husbands and girlfriends. So I witnessed a lot of some abuse. So what do you think I did? I brought that into my marriage, right? So I had to figure out for myself, did I want to continue down that path or did I want to change it? Right? And my first year, I think it was a year and a half into my marriage at age 27, I me I pushed my husband, like I hit my husband. And I didn't the minute I tell you guys, it's funny how things, and you guys can probably think about situations in your own life. The minute it happened, I remembered an incident growing up that I saw with my siblings with abuse, and I was scared to death. I was like, oh, this is what I didn't want. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be like them. And here I am, perfect, right? So I had to go do some work on myself because I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like what I was seeing, what I was hearing myself thinking, what I was doing, right? And thank God I have a husband that he saw me. He saw me and understood me and just gave me the space and the grace. Space and grace, because you need both. Make sure that you have people around you that can give you the space and the grace to be able to work on yourself, because working on yourself and going through the process, it's not easy, right? It's not easy because nobody wants to see they're ugly. There are things inside of them that are not so pretty, right? But ugly, pretty, in the middle, not in the middle, it's all beautiful because it's you. It's all beautiful because it's you, right? It's all beautiful because it's you. So it's important that you know that. I wanted to make sure that you guys know that. So, with that, here are the 5 components of EQ. Number one, self awareness. This is my favorite, I must say. Self awareness is I notice what I'm feeling and why. That's it. Know your patterns, understand your triggers, and identify your emotions, how those emotions impact the people around you, right? So, what emotion is in the driver's seat for you right now? You got to know what that is, which is why in the beginning of this conversation, I asked, how are you guys feeling? Because if you don't know how you're feeling, the minute you can pinpoint how you're feeling, checking in with yourself, then you can actually decide, okay, since I'm feeling sad, maybe I should not look to uh go give that employee that evaluation because I'm not feeling my best right now. Maybe I should not go and have a whole lecture with my kid about such and such because I'm not in the best mood right now. I'll give it a day or two. Maybe I shouldn't reply to that email that manager said, that peer said, because if I do, I may lose my job today. So you got to know for yourself. Identify how you are feeling in the moment first. I wake up in the morning, I have a whole morning routine, and part of that morning routine is asking, Dale, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? Oh, I'm feeling on top of the world. I'm feeling joy. I'm feeling thankful. I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling hopeful, right? And because I know how I'm feeling now, all right, now I can start checking off the rest of the stuff on my day. But if I'm feeling and I'm waking up feeling angry because the husband and I argued last night and I woke up this morning and I'm still feeling angry, I husband and I woke up this morning and I'm still feeling angry, maybe I should find something to calm myself down, to take my like change. They say that I don't know if you guys know the book. This is a resource book for you guys. It's called The Body Keeps Score. There's a that book is by Dr. Bessel. It's a long name. The Body Keeps Score, and that book tells you how emotions and trauma trapped in your body, to give you guys quickly, because I don't want to give you guys too much of the one of too much basics. I want to just get to the meat of the potatoes, but you need to understand the basics so that way you can keep moving. But the word emotion, if you get rid of the word e, the letter e, it's motions, right? And the Latin word for emotion is emotere, which means energy in motion. So emotions are energies inside of you that you need to dispel, right? So you need to do something with your. So yes, Duranda, yes, very good.
Dr. Dale, I'm gonna have to leave you soon, okay?
That's fine. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I enjoyed this session, like emotional intelligence and understanding, emotions and emotion of others, and especially when you work in with people in a management role, that's very, very important. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, so it's very important. And of course,
Yes.
the way that we were brought up have a lot to do with our values and
Yes.
our value base. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, so what you say is very important. If it's not aware of their own emotions and how certain things from the past can come back to the fore if they're not emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
You understand?
Oh my
Understand
goodness.
the feeling and the causation of their feeling.
Exactly.
So, yeah, keep up the good work.
I appreciate you.
With of your own emotional intelligence and value base and everything like that. Yes. So,
Yes. Take care. I'll see you soon. Take care.
take care, bye. Bye.
So, what Hans was pretty much saying, was talking about how it's important that you have values connected to to who you are. See, when I realized that that what I was doing, that the argument or the fights with the husband, I realized for myself that this is not a value that I want to carry into my relationship. So I had to change what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be. And that's a part of your values, right? I want to be a wholesome person. I want to be someone that constantly wants to grow, right? I want to be someone that constantly wants to develop and be a better version of myself, right? And I'm sure that's what you want for yourself as well. So the first component of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. The second one is, and self-awareness, of course, is noticing what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Why? Some people, they know what they're feeling, but then they don't know the why. And that why requires you to do some work on the inside, meaning you have to go do some retrospection, introspection, some reflection. You need to actually do the work, right? It doesn't happen from one day to the other one. Self awareness is an ongoing, and sometimes I call it my nasty sister, but it does one thing very well, and that just it turns a mirror on you, right? And if you're not ready to turn that mirror on yourself, and I like to say nakedly, then it's not going to work, right? So please be ready for that and be okay with whatever comes up, and let journaling be a part of that process, right? I started the when I first started doing emotional intelligence was I started journaling how I felt every day, right? And then after a week or a month, I started to see a trend. And for those that are not so familiar with EQ, look at that trend. Once after you start, today I feel this sadness. And then you look at after a week, man, I was sad for the entire 6 days. I was only happy or glad for one. Then you start going deeper, right? Why was I sad that day? And then you figure that out. You have to go deeper into asking yourself those kinds of questions. And then once you figure out what that is, then you start moving, right? Then you start moving. The second part of emotional intelligence is self-management. I don't, to tell you the honest, I don't like self-management, which is emotional regulation, but it likes me. It loves me because self-management pretty much says, are you in control of you? Right? Are you in control of you? It says, I don't let emotions hijack my leadership. I don't like emotions hijack my day, hijack my mind, hijack my conference meeting that I'm having, right? I don't let it. So don't let it, right? So if you feel frustration, but don't react from it, that's the key. What you're saying right now is really hurting my feelings, but I'm not going to do that knee jerk reaction and want to shut you down and walk away because I am uncomfortable. Maybe you are somebody that I know, that I like, and that I trust, right? And I want to hear how you are feeling about this particular situation. Not everybody feels that and understand that, right? You shouldn't, don't ever get advice from people that you don't know, don't like, and don't trust. Right? So this person was saying something to me, and to be honest with you, I didn't feel 100% comfortable with what they were saying, but I knew I needed to sit there and listen because I really appreciate I really appreciate this person who's been in my life for all these years, and they know me way before I started doing my work on emotional intelligence. So they really love and care for me, and they provided that room for me to to grow gracefully, right? Like my husband did. So when they were talking, I was uncomfortable, right? So are you walking away from conversations that are people are speaking to you, hey, what you did yesterday really da 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 really hurt. And I don't understand why you dissed me or hung up the phone on me or whatever it is, right? You got to know that if that person is saying that to you, you got to listen. Like really try to listen, because if you run away, then you're never growing. You are only stagnant. And I always say that stagnant water, it stinks. It stinks, and nobody want to be around it, right? Not for long. Self-management says you notice anxiety, but don't let you don't let it make allow you to make mistakes. I'm feeling anxious right now. You know that you have these meetings or projects coming up next week with your team, with your family, or whatever it is, and you know that you have to prepare for it. Why are you going to wait until when the day comes for you to like, oh my God, I didn't do anything? You're stressing yourself out. You're stressing yourself out, right? So prepare for it. Prepare ahead of time. Give yourself enough time to do whatever you need to do so that way you are a better person the day of, right? And the people that are around you, they're better as well because you're not snapping at them. You're not acting out of pocket and out of character, right? And the research shows that if you keep negative trapped emotions inside of you, it catches up with you. Go do the research, you guys. It catches up with you in heart attacks, in anxiety, in burnout. Like you're just like tense, like constantly, and you're not, and this is how you're running your life. Emotional intelligence says no, let that go. Forgive, be forgiven, forgive yourself, right? And self-management says you choose your responses with intention, right? With intention. And it's important that you know that. In this course, we're going to talk about my 3 Ps that can help you with that. And then, so number 3, the other, there's 4 parts to EQ. So number 3 says social awareness and empathy. I love social awareness and empathy. It says, I sense what others are feeling, even when they don't say anything. That's what it says. That's what it means. It says, pick on, somebody don't need to say something for you to know how they are feeling, especially if you know the person. Especially if you know the person. Know when to speak and know when to hold your peace. You don't always have to respond back. I'm learning that day by day, you guys, and I've learned that I've learned that even that when I don't say anything to the particular person that I know I want to say something to, um I later on they come back and like, I really thank you for not telling me I told you so or making me feel bad in this situation. And I was like, yeah, that's all right. That's what I'm here for, to make sure, to support each other. And I know eventually you would have gotten it. But inside of me, I wanted to say something so very badly, right? So you can think about that for you in situations for you. So is this any of this nailing home for any of you guys? Anyone you guys want to on mic and share anything? I want to make sure that I give you guys the space before we get ready to wind down here. Anybody wants to on mic or anybody wants to come up? I think we had Stance earlier. Okay. I just want to make sure I give you guys the space. And then the last component of EQ says relationship management. Relationship management says I lead people, not just projects. And I want you to really think about that statement. I lead people, I help people, I pour into people, not just projects. What does that mean? That means that if people, I said this is my slogan that I have, humans are emotions. Leadership is emotional. So why not lead with emotional intelligence? So if you lead people, you lead humans, that means that the last time I checked, humans they're full of gray areas. They're not to the left, they're not to the right, they're not in the middle. They're on that entire spectrum. That they're all over that scale. And it's frustrating sometimes, right? But it's a beautiful thing at the same time. Because if you think about it for you, I want people to lead to, there was a leader that I was interviewing on my podcast. a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale, and she said, sometimes as a leader, I said to her, sometimes as a leader, you're gonna have to meet people halfway. And she said, and I'm gonna add to that, and sometimes you just have to go all the way with them. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. Sometimes you just have to go all the way with them, right? Because they don't have a lot of the things that you think they would have that are common sense, or manners, and they don't have it, right? Or they just don't have it. So you're gonna have to go a little bit further, and sometimes all the way. Yeah, Duranda. Duranda says, I see that. I see this so much. Yeah. um Feel free to unmic and share if you want to say anything else, Duranda. I welcome it. Don't feel.
Sure. I see this a
Hi.
lot. Hello, everyone. I see this a lot with my team, and I think that I am probably a grounding force on the leadership team.
Yeah.
I'm explaining to them, hey, not everyone has the same upbringing. We have so many mental barriers that people are overcoming, and sometimes it takes us as leaders to unlock that before that common sense piece clicks. So don't be so quick to write off someone because they didn't get from A to Z. All of us are still learning. We have much more grace with children than we have with adults. But like I said, we don't know what their upbringing was like. They still may be operating in that kid brain.
1,000%. Oh my gosh, Miranda, I love that. Miranda pretty much said, for those that didn't hear, that you gotta be able to have a lot more. You gotta have grace with the people, because not everybody has that same training that you have. So giving them that grace is important, right? Because otherwise, we're human. We're perfectly imperfect, perfectly imperfect. And relationship management says, give them grace, courageous conversation. Sometimes as leaders, we want to shy away from not having that conversation because it's comfortable. Because, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't feel comfortable. Maybe it's time for you to stretch yourself. When it was time for me to to terminate, or to let an employee go, that's the last thing I wanted to do. I did not want to do that. And that's a part of what being an HR person. That's I hated it, and I still hate it, right? So now that I have my own company, it's, I understand that process, because I was a frontline employee, and because I went through the entire ranks, right, from answering the phones and working at Burger King to now to the head of HR, chief HR officer. And I understood that middleman, that little man, because I am that person. Not that I was, I am, and I'm still am. We are, right? So it's important for you to understand that where they're coming from and where you're coming from, if you flip the roles and put yourself in that position, you're going to see that, we have a lot more in common than we have not in common. Right? And the thing about it is that when you do that, you build trust. You build trust. You build trust with them. They come to you. They're gonna move heaven and earth in that department for you, because you're right there with them. I'm talking about the 90%, 999% of people out there, right? Right? Because you've done so much for them that they want to make sure that you're happy with them, and and that's their way of kind of paying you back, per se, right? But then there's others out there that, don't give, right? And I'm not talking about those, because those are outliers. Those are outliers. Um, Hold on here. Ali, you want to jump in on this conversation? Am I saying your name right? Hi. Hi. Do you want to share anything? Okay, I don't think she wants to share anything. Okay, I don't think she wants to share anything. So the last, so bringing all of that home now, right? I can't pour from an empty cup. EQ means knowing when to rest, when to protect your peace, and when your body is telling you not right now. So it allows you to do all of that with love, with care, with appreciation. So make sure that you do that for you, right? That you do that for you. Um, so yeah, so so here's some questions, reflection questions, right, for you guys. And I'll also send you guys the homework for this assignment is going to be an EQ assessment. So I'll send you guys that link in the email for those that have registered, and I'll send that to you guys so you guys can do that. And it's only 20 questions and it's multiple choice, and you just going through it. And I'll also send you guys another link because I want you guys to get different perspectives, right? Remember, this is a self-assessment. So the self-assessment is just your point of view, right? So your point of view is very limited. And then I'll introduce you guys, I'll share with you guys a 360 point of view. And then how you can, I want you guys to use, once you guys do your assessments, I'll give you guys plan B for that same assessment and how you can use that to kind of better yourself as well and make it a whole 360 as well, right? And also, they're free EQ tests online if you guys want to do that. But I'll send you the one that I have and the one that we're going to kind of use for the course so you can kind of get an idea where you're at. So here are some reflection questions. There's 3 of them. Out of these 4 components of emotional intelligence, which component do you think that you're strongest in? If you guys can put it in the chat or on mic and say, I want to get it recorded. So for those that are here, definitely put it in the chat and let me know. So you want, are you, is it social awareness and empathy? Is that your strength? Is it self-management, emotional control of yourself? Or is it self-awareness? Or is it relationship management? Okay. Okay. Yay. Okay, I see Michelle, Duranda, Shantae. Okay. Shiva, I don't think I saw yours. I want to get it recorded in here. If you can put yours, is it self-management? Is it self-awareness? Is it social skills, which is social awareness, or is it relationship management? Which one of them you think you are strongest in? And then the next question is, which one of these do you think you need attention this season? Because you can't work on all of them, right? Some you're stronger in, one you're stronger in, and the other ones you need work in. What is it that you need work in? Doranda says self-management. I'm there with you, Sir Doranda. Shante says empathy. Okay. Shiba, is your social awareness, is that your strength or your weak area or your challenging area? Duranda says they be trying me. I
I had said, self awareness is my strength,
okay, you
and I
got
need
it.
self awareness. Yeah.
Okay. And social awareness is your challenging area.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, good. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Duranda, you got me cracking up. They be trying me. Oh yeah, they will try you, right? They're gonna see how far they can push it. And then the last question is, which one emotion that shows up a lot in your leadership? And what might it be trying to teach you? So that's the question I want you guys to reflect on. I'm gonna put this in the chat in case you guys want it. Um, what emotion shows up a lot in your leadership? And remember, you don't have to be only a leader of people, right? Employees. You can be a leader. You first have to be a leader of yourself, right? And what might it be trying to tell you? There's Taylor. Hi. And Taylor, you said it's frustration, and you said social awareness. Malcolm says, grow me, please. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to be back here. And then I want you to journal. So there's two things I want you to do. Reflect on that question. Two, I want you guys to just start journaling how you're feeling. You wake up in the morning, I want you to check in with yourself. And when you're going to bed, check in with yourself. You should be checking in with yourself all day, every day. I develop a thing here in my relationship with my husband now, that throughout the day, we're asking, you okay? You good? You good? You good? You good? In passing, right? I bring him, he give me a glass of water, I give him a glass of water. Are we eating dinner? You good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's in passing. So it's not just like how you should do with your employees. You shouldn't be checking in with them those only every 2 weeks, or only when you have a project for them working on, right? It should be a constant thing, right? Making it a part of your day to day. So when it does happen, it's never like everybody's tense and they feel like somebody's going to get fired or serious. It's something that it's a part of your day to day. When you make it a part of the routine, then when everybody comes together, it's just like you're sitting down and just catching up with a good friend or someone that you want to connect with. Okay, so think about that question. What's that one emotion that shows up with you in your leadership, and what it might be telling you? And two, start journaling and figuring out your triggers, right? And which is checking in with yourself, how you're feeling. List, there are a gazillion emotions throughout on the scale. I'll send you guys the emotional wheel that you can use, right? And we're going to keep this conversation going next week. So I'll see you guys back here next week. It's not going to be on Thursday. It's going to be on Fridays, right? I just wanted to do it today because it's Juneteenth. And I wanted to make sure that, we stand loud and proud. And I wish you guys Juneteenth. And I thought it was very good to kind of start it on this day. Um, so yes, so I'll see you guys here Friday. Friday, yes. I'll see you guys here on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next 6 weeks. Okay, today was the first week of unlocking your leadership potential with emotional intelligence, and this is gonna be amazing. Happy Juneteenth. Thank you guys for being here with me and for listening and dropping your questions and everything. This is great. I feel good. Yes, happy Juneteenth. And Taylor, yes, please sign up for the class. Go to thehillmantalk.com so you guys can sign up for the course, and you can get all of the other materials that I'll be sharing with everybody that's here on the Zoom as well. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna drop this recording in on my YouTube channel next week. Well, not next week, tomorrow. So that way, and all of them are gonna be there going forward. Okay, it's just that today was funky. So yeah. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. One love. And of course, remember to lead with emotional intelligence. Take
Thank
care,
you
you
so
guys.
much. Have a great balance of your day.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank
Bye,
you so much.
guys.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
And thank you guys for listening.